Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? What's up, DJN Hexagon? What's up, Crypto Dan? What's up, Daniels Gray? How you doing? What's up, man? What's up, Lucky Luke? PWC better than PDI? Yeah. What's up, Blue and Sea Point? What's up, Crypto Dan? I got coffee. There was no sun today. It's been pouring snow the whole day, but it's very beautiful. Oh, I should post a story about that, actually. I'll do that. But let's get into it. We're going to talk about Epstein, okay? I had some people that wanted to hear about the Tom Bialu video. So, tell you what. Let's start with that to kick it off, actually. Because I don't know why everyone was interested in that. I think it's right here. Maybe we'll play a few minutes of it. I'm not going to play the whole thing unless there's something really important, but I think he sets it up really well. So, I don't know how to get into this. This is like very personal for me. I don't really want to cover this stuff. But I'm going to because I don't know why everyone's asking me to cover it. It's as if you guys know something. So, I'm not going to go into a confession. I can't tell you guys much anyway. But when I was young, I was pulled into something, okay? And I ended up working for the son of one of the most powerful politicians in the world, okay, when I was very young. And I've seen things that most of you couldn't imagine, all right? And there's things that happened that permanently changed the trajectory of my life and absolutely pushed me toward Christianity, okay? Because I was not really, I was like probably an atheist. What is in these emails is very real. And it's really scratching the surface, and most of you guys probably have no idea what the world is actually like. I've seen behind the veil by accident when I was young. I didn't know the situation I was in. There was no internet as we know it. There was no YouTube. There was no Twitter back then. Obviously, I was just in circumstances that challenged my concept of reality. And because of that, I've always been different. I think because when I was very young, I was revealed to the real world. And when you hear Mel Gibson speak, when you hear these people speak, I resonate with them. My bones start vibrating because I know what he's seen. I've seen it. I've been there. I've been in those rooms, in those spaces around those people. And there's just, there's things I just can't say here in this medium, at least not now. And I mean, one day I think I'll tell more stories about this, but I want you to know that what you guys are realizing is very real, okay? And I hope a lot of people wake up at the nature of the reality you're in and the nature of the power structures of mostly the Americas, okay? And it's been going on for a long time. Very, 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 very long time. Okay? Very, very, very long time. That's very real stuff. Okay? And, yeah. So, we'll get into it a little bit. I'll share a little bit of my take on it. But I really feel for a lot of the innocent people involved. And, you know, these people are brutal and ruthless. And they're... the word maybe like they're untouchable in a lot of ways, right? That's the truth. Okay. But let's play a couple minutes of it. I think it's interesting. I listened to a couple minutes of it. It's funny listening to a guy like Tom Bialu who's super naive to the way the real world is, and then me listening to it. 75%. Where'd it go? I just had it. Wait. Did it already get pulled? How? Latest videos. It should be like the latest one. It was like the first one. Did I miss something here? Yo, it's already gone. Maybe it's live. Hang on. Oh, yeah. Or is it under podcast? I get you. Okay, hang on. Yo. I don't see it anymore. What the fuck is going on? I had it up. Oh, here it is right here. I have it right here. What the fuck? Okay. Let's just play a couple minutes.
Coupled at the same time, it's just wild. So yeah, if they announce that, because they're like poking and prodding people. They are terraforming. They are planting the seeds, or how there's a phrase for it. But they're doing all of that, or astroturfing. They're astroturfing to get us ready for this announcement about alien life. Oh, the timing, Drew. It's grotesque.
I have to eat crow. I was talking junk, like we're never getting files. Those files are never dropping. And they dropped, and I wish I was right. This is terrible. Like
It's bad.
It was worse than I imagined. And I was like, it's going to be crazy. I watched House of Cards. It's going to be like that. It's worse than I imagined.
So listen. Okay, first of all, let us be very clear that all of this is alleged. It is alleged. These are documents of people.
Alleged.
Oftentimes, it's just an email, or it is a witness who has come forward that has not gone through the court of law. And so many of the things that are inevitably going to be in the documents are not true. So everything that we say here should be taken with a gigantic grain of salt. We certainly do not have any special insider information, so we are merely reporting on the things that people have been saying. We'll certainly speculate in terms of things that I think might be going on, but this is my opinion. It should not be taken as me representing facts. All right, having said all of that, the latest major development on the Epstein files occurred on January 30th of 2026 when the U.S. Department of Justice released over 3 million pages of documents along with 2,000 videos, 180,000 images, and all of this is part of the compliance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act that we need but may all regret as you start searching through the Epstein files themselves. You've got high profile mentions. Obviously, people like Donald Trump are mentioned. He was mentioned, I think, thousands of times. Bill Clinton, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, who was mentioned hundreds of times, former White House advisors, people involved all the way up in finance, and world leaders. Like, you've got people stepping down in other countries because of their ties. It is pretty wild. There are emails, investigative records, general communications, and all of it is obviously tied back to the different ways that people are connected to Epstein. Much of it ties back to Epstein's post-2008 Florida conviction, but many are not necessarily new allegations. It's just that they detail associations or the unverified tips that people have about things that Epstein was doing or people that he might be involved with. And I have a feeling that all of this is going to be one big rat's nest of information warfare. So just be very careful. Now, files suggest Epstein may have trafficked girls, obviously, to other people. I can't believe even for a moment people were just saying it was all the Epstein. It was such an absurd claim. And that does not appear to be the fact, given all of the information in the files. And that starts raising questions about past official denials for evidence and are like things trying to be covered up actively. Now, no new criminal charges have stemmed from the release of the February 2nd documents or since they all dropped. The files are publicly available on the DOJ's website.
I mean, you got to wonder why they're dropping it right now, right? Like, why right now? It's really interesting. I mean, it makes me concerned they like want to nuke the world right now or something. Like, why are they doing it right now? Is it a distraction, or is there another distraction coming to distract us from this? This is, and then by letting us know, they're kind of scaring the shit out of normies right now. Like, even he's like, it's alleged. Like, I get it. He's saying it's alleged, but I go on and he's like shocked at what he's seeing. I literally. I know all this is happening, all right? But you can't tell somebody how the world really works. They're just not even going to fucking believe you. Like, if I even told people some of the shit, the people I worked for, it's crazy, right?
So you guys can go see this stuff.
People don't want to believe we live in a world that these emails might suggest we live in, right? But you've been told forever. I mean, even I got a great clip from Mel Gibson I'll play in a minute too.
Yourself, which we have done here, it is not, I will say, not a pleasant experience. Several unconfirmed and speculative elements have surfaced from the files or just raging across social media, and it can be very difficult to know what's true. There have been documents that people are just completely fabricating and posting, and because there's over 3 million documents, it's like all just sort of gets mixed in. And as they say, lies will travel faster than the truth can get its pants on. So you have to be very careful when looking at this stuff, as people will present supposedly true redacted documents that are absolutely damning, and then they turn out to be completely false when you go to check them against the actual records. Now, there was a 2019 4chan post that's now in the declassified data set. So there were things that were posted and then removed, and then a redacted version is posted. And supposedly they come from a verified prison employee who claims that Epstein, get ready, tinfoil hat, This person claims that Epstein was removed from jail in an unmarked van by armed personnel before his reported death, fueling the theories that he might still be alive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would have killed him. He's still an intelligent guy who knows a lot of stuff on a lot of people. Like, he's quite valuable, I'm sure. I doubt they just would have. This wasn't just for fun play ring of abusing people. This was all for a reason. They were getting tapes on people, photos on people at parties and events and stuff that they can use later. So I doubt they would have just taken him out. He was part of something much bigger and much larger conspiracy, right? I mean, you guys saw the Oscars, right? How everybody sings together when somebody makes a comment a certain way, or what if it was a Grammys or something like that, right? And Billie Eilish had said something. Well, all those people, they have photos on them, they have videos on them. That's why they all just go in agreement with, like, yes, whatever the thing is that they have to be in agreement for. They know what it is. You all know, whether that's a certain war or narrative or anti this or anti that. They know which way to clap. Okay, why? Because this group of conspirators has photos on them and recordings of them at parties doing, crazy stuff. Even if it's just freaky, even if it's just adult freaky, and it's not even with kids, they probably just still don't want it out, right, in the public. And now they've been recorded. So Epstein was the ringleader. He was like the plug for a lot of this stuff happening. And it doesn't make sense for them just to take him out. If it was just a pleasure ring, if these guys doing nefarious, fucked up shit, I'd be like, okay, fine. They don't care about him. But he was actually like a brain in this system, So it makes sense to me they would have kept him alive. He's somewhere still feeding information and strategy, right?
Or that he was just extracted covertly. Now, no evidence supports this beyond the post itself, so take that kind of thing with a grain of salt. The DOJ has emphasized, as I have here, that some tips are going to end up being proven untrue or purely sensationalist, so we have to be careful. But boy, oh boy, I don't plan to go through any of the specifics here, partly because they are stomach churning, and partly because we just don't know what's true yet. But wow, as Drew said, they are worse than I expected. And maybe because I just never went in my mind to anything that was actually specific. But when you...
That's what I'm talking about. Most people can't understand what's going on. They can't go there in their minds. Okay? And that's what I know. That's why I never talked about a lot of this stuff. Most people it's too much. Like, your reality just shatters. But they've known this for thousands of years. This was going on. This has been recorded going all the way back to ancient Rome, okay? And, yeah.
You start hearing the specific claims, it is mortifying. Now, the thing that I find the most interesting about this isn't all the lurid, horrific accusations of sexual demonic actions. I mean, it's just really, really horrifying. Set that aside. What is most interesting to me is how there really is a tight-knit group of people that are interconnected.
Okay. Valiant, correction. The satanic cults run most of the Western world. Okay, that would be Europe and the Americas. Okay, Western Europe and the Americas. They don't really run. I would say Asia and Russia are different, and then India is its kind of own bag. And I'm not going to get into that one right now. But Western Europe and the Americas are absolutely infiltrated. Absolutely, it's not even a question. Like I said, I've worked for people, and I can't get into some sort of stuff, but
connected in ways that you would not expect. So I personally do not read into this one too deeply, other than to say this is very interesting. When people talk about the Uniparty and all that, you begin to understand why. But if you look at, so Mamdani's mom was in the files. Okay, I don't think people were expecting that one. It certainly was not on my bingo card. So when you look at Mamdani from the perspective of, oh my gosh, this grassroots kid comes up, who would have thought that he's just the right person at the right moment, a Gen Zer who is really showing people the angst that Gen Z is going through, and then you realize, well, maybe it's a little more complicated than that, in that his mom is obviously extremely well connected. I have no reason to believe that there's any impropriety, certainly on behalf of Mamdani. I don't think he was involved at all. I don't even have reason to believe that his mom did anything wrong. But the fact that they moved in those circles, that's the thing that was most interesting to me, is just the whole idea that there is this small cabal of elites that really sway the direction of the world. Just proves to be more and more true with each passing day. And so seeing all of the people that were communicating via email directly to Epstein or Epstein's assistant is wild, is wild.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's one of those things that at the very high level, there's certain moments in history where we just get kind of these blips on the map of like politics. There's Watergate. There's I did not have sexual relations with that woman. There's the 9/11. There's George Bush doesn't care about black people. To me, I think that this is the Epstein files when it released, and I was actually going through it, and I was like, hold on, wait, like They said the quiet part out loud. Like, they're releasing the thing. These are the actual files that we have been talking about, that Pam Bondi couldn't find, that Kash Patel said, oh yeah, he killed himself. All these people that had whatever forms of cover up have now released this documentation that is pretty damning. But it seemed like it was business as usual. We were talking about the Grammys red carpet. We're talking about what happened this weekend. We're talking about the Ice Out protest. But I'm like, guys, did we not just see what, like, I saw one page, and I'm not even a journalist, and I'm like, hey, like, why are we talking, like, change the channel? Hold on, like, we should shut stuff down. Like, I feel like this is something that people need to have a conversation about.
Well, not only that, arrests need to be made. Like, you've really got to figure out what actually went on here, because all the files in their lurid details, they paint a picture that is so troubling that if you don't need much more than a fraction of it to be true for this to be earth-shatteringly problematic. Now, it's earth-shatteringly problematic for me for a very specific reason, and that specific reason is I believe there's architecture to the human mind, so we work in certain ways, and that those ways are knowable, they're mappable, and you've had people commenting for a long time that, okay, there's a small cabal of people at the top and they're all interconnected. Okay, is that true? Is it not true? People saying there's a uniparty. Is it true? Is it not true? That, banking essentially runs the world. Is it true? Is it not true? That these high-level people all have dirt on each other, and that's how they, like, keep everybody in line. Is it true? Is it not true? And it's like those dominoes start falling. Like, there was one exchange about Michael Saylor, of all people, and literally just reporting the exchange. This is a paraphrase, but it's pretty close to exactly what was said. I believe it was said by one of Epstein's assistants, and she said, I don't even know that I can take Michael Saylor's money and promise him, like, a more dynamic life or something, a more exciting life, something like that. She was like, he doesn't pick up on social cues at all. Like, he's just insufferable. I can't stand to be around him. He has no personality. And it was like, she said the words, I wouldn't even know how to blackmail him. And so I was like, wait, so that's such an open part of the playbook that we just, like, offhandedly go, yeah, look, we can't blackmail that guy, so just cut him loose, like, rich though he may be. I need to know how I would blackmail this person. That was the one where, like, the banality of the throwaway comment of I wouldn't even know how to blackmail him. It's like how much ink was spilled over the idea of, was Epstein being used to blackmail people? It's like, was Epstein blackmailing people? Like, forget, like, whether he's tied to governments or not. Like, reading the Epstein files, early days for me, I fully reserve the right to completely change my opinion, and Lord knows I hope I do. But reading it was like, okay, the governments of it all are downstream of this kind of extra governmental cooperation, but take cooperation to be coercion, blackmail, just like horrific stuff of reaching in to the soul of the people who make the world move and going, what is that dark secret that you have that I can make come true for you? And by making it come true for you, I have something over you. And by having something over you, we can now move things in the direction we want. Now, there's no way that this stuff is pure coordination. It's going to be infighting. There are going to be different factions that are all going to...
Yeah, like, for example, they find out what you like, whatever that is, man. Whatever, like, your darkest fantasy is or your darkest thing is, and they provide it for you. They make it happen. Okay, understand that. And then they make sure they know that you did the thing, or in some way it's recorded or something somewhere. So they have you, man. They have you for life. Okay, because here's the thing: like, your freaky thing may just be like, well, I want to do, like, this freaky threesome and blah blah blah. But it's going to evolve because you're going to be in an environment and in parties where the next guy, is like, hey, did you try this? And you're like, what's that? And then he tells you about it, or she tells whatever. And you're like, oh, I never thought of that, but you can do it here on this island or at this party. Really? Yeah, go down that hallway and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, fuck it, I'll do this. So it becomes a slippery slope because literally they're doing everything. And then you probably never thought of dismembering somebody. But all of a sudden, they're like, yeah, have you ever seen the movie Hostel? Yeah, if you go to this party, they do it, every couple months. You can do anything you want to anybody. And all of a sudden, your mind is going, because you've done all this other freaky stuff now. You've kind of been, like, pulled down this slippery slope, you understand? And now you're like, maybe if no one's going to find out, what would that be like? I don't know, and your imagination can go to all these crazy places of what people could do. I mean, you've seen those movies, right? Hostel, whatever. And there's just even crazier, more sadistic things you probably haven't even imagined yet. But they provide it. They provide all these experiences, and everything is kind of recorded in some way. Okay, so one, they have that on you. Two, you're now addicted to this high. Okay, and we're not even at adrenochrome yet or any of that. We're not even there yet, which is very real. Okay, and I'm not going to go into that in this video. But they make sure that you get that, and now you're addicted. Now you're addicted to having all these crazy, what they call, like, my what do they call them? My hidden thoughts, or what do they call? like those thoughts, my dark thoughts one or whatever. Now imagine you get to entertain all your dark thoughts. All right. And it does a couple things. One, it connects this group together. Okay. Ritualistically, you're now connected together because you've done horrific things. And you probably have to do some horrific things at some point in front of everybody and with everybody to kind of be connected. I mean, it's part of it. It's a cult initiation thing, religious, cult-ish, whatever you want to call it. And it also deadens your empathy. Okay? That's really important to understand. I want you guys to understand, too, that at this level of power, they want to eradicate your concept of empathy. Okay? They want you to feel, obviously not what others feel. In a way, a reptile would feel, or an animal who's just eating its prey while its prey is alive. Okay? Animals don't think about it. They don't think, let me put this being out of its misery, like we might cut the throat of an animal, let it bleed out, try to reduce the suffering before we eat it. An animal would just eat the thing while it's alive. They want to bring you to that. That is the beast mode. Okay? And then there's even other levels to that, where you're now excited and try about the pain and suffering of this being. And then also then the next level from that is even harvesting that suffering. And that's when you get into the adrenochrome, or what they call eating. They've shown this in movies too. There's a really interesting movie called The Witch that comes to mind, which was just a great movie. It's not just weird. You guys know The Witch, right? It was from 10 years ago, right? Not The Witcher, The Witch. I think it's called The Witch, right? Was that the one? Yeah, The Witch, with that really Robert Eggers, right? And I don't want to give away the story, but of course it gets to the part where the witches are eating their kid, right? They're cooking up their kid or something and draining the blood, right? It's really sad, but something to that effect, right? So you get into that next, even that level, right, of the full-on harvesting, the force of this being.
The war with each other and all of that stuff.
And the movie's pretty much a documentary. When you understand how the world works and what's going on, you understand what he was trying to say in that movie.
Sure, for sure.
It's a great movie, The
My
Witch.
base assumption, though it may prove to be erroneous, but my base assumption is that just like a court in monarchies of old, there's all of the Machiavellian infighting and intrigue and all of that stuff. But it's we never really moved out of that system. This is just the modern day version of that. Yeah. And so maybe you don't have kingdoms, but you have these different countries all united under global economics, all united under this cabal of high level elites that, again, they're not all in coordination with each other. And if you read the mentions of Elon Musk, it's he hates Reid Hoffman, and there's all these different factions within it. But it's this is architecture of the human mind. Now, I think the thing that's most distressing is that the way the human mind works, the thing you just go for is always money and bizarre sexual proclivities. And so seeing those two things come together, who can we blackmail because we give them access to money or power or whatever, and then who can we blackmail with access to sex that they can't talk about? Again, I don't know how much of it's true, but it just it's so interwoven throughout the whole thing. And so, yeah, that's the part where I'm okay, so this is how the human mind is. Mm-hmm. When you mix two things that we're mixing right now, you get a really ugly cocktail. Thing number one, humans do this. You create the iron law of oligarchy. You're going to have a small group of elites that run things. Mm-hmm. Then you've got the sexual proclivities of it all. Mm-hmm. And so you end up putting those two things together in an era where everything becomes visible. On a long enough timeline, social media just makes everything visible. And so now in a world where the only way to hide something is obfuscation, what does the world look like? And what I mean is a fancy word for people are going to try narrative control. They're going to try to pull the magic trick of look over here. Mm-hmm. It's why I am legitimately suspicious that whatever state you go to do a fraud investigation, system immediately be chased by ICE riots. Because it is just an easy way to say, no, this is all about race. This is, I think Newsom filed a discriminatory claim against Dr. Oz for saying that it's it's two nationalities. Armenian. It's Russian Armenian mafia or something like that, which I would expect all of them to be white as the driven snow, but yet still the cry is discrimination. So that's where I'm just
But before we get, because I think now we're starting to factor to the human mind, but I want to jump into something, because I think last week when speaking of the ICE protests, we were justifying kicking out taillights.
All right, I want to get to some other stuff. I didn't watch this thing. A lot of people seem to be a fan of his work. I want to show you guys this video. This is really cool, man. Check it out. There's some actually really great Mel Gibson interviews that go way back. I didn't scroll down here yet, but Now you guys know I'm from LA. I also had a private business in LA, and I got to go to the homes of some extraordinarily powerful people in Los Angeles. And fuck.
When I came over here, I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
The first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on, because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be, because a whole place can't be like, you know, Weird Town, you know, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them, and and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill, and it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like. Could it? And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time, and you think,
There's some very, very dark energy. Very, 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 very dark energy in Los Angeles. I can't even express it to you. And I think if you haven't worked at events, if you haven't been to the homes on some of the tops of these hills, you probably are kind of immune to it. You just are pissed off at traffic, and you don't understand why the city's the way it is. But once you start meeting people and you're at these places, and I've also worked in a lot of the studios as well, you begin to, if you're sensitive, you feel it. Like, he's a very sensitive person. I know exactly what he's saying. Like, surely that's not what's going on. You can feel it from these people. You can feel it in these rooms and places. And I've also done, like I said, private events at homes, and I've met a lot of celebrities and things like that. And I'm telling you, man, there is some fucking crazy shit. And then my roommate was also in the music industry, and he was a soul singer, and he was a soul singer. He was a soul singer, sang like gospel and stuff, and he was also gay. So he was going to these kind of events that, you know, I just never heard of before. But he was the stories he's told. And you guys have heard me. I've told some stories before. Like, I mean, this is a long time ago. He's telling me. I mean, this is before YouTube or, you know, Twitter even existed or anything, right? And he would tell me about Jay-Z, and he would tell me about all these people, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I was there." Because I think because of his orientation and he was young, I think he like ended up at a lot of these kind of places that you wouldn't normally get into if you were like, you know, like me. Like, I didn't even know this stuff existed, right? And man, the stories he would tell me, he said he pretty much was like, everybody's doing everybody up the butt. And he was telling me this, like, now it's like 20 years ago or something, like, right? Like a long time ago. I was very young. And he's telling me all these crazy stories. And at the time, I was just like, what? Like, what is he talking about? And then now we know, you know, from Will Smith, like, it was all true. Everything he was telling me was true. And he was name dropping too. Like, he was getting into these, like, some of these places. I mean, they're just crazy orgies. Pretty much he was telling me it's like, you know, crazy orgies and shit. And he was even saying at the church level in LA that was going on. He's like, yeah, it was just one big orgy. And it's crazy. I don't know. We're getting off that thing, but yeah, LA is crazy. Hollywood's nuts, man.
It does rip your life to pieces.
Does it?
If you'll let it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always pounding at the walls. It's
dark.
These little guys, these little heathens with no soul downstairs with horns on their head with a battering ram trying to, like, beat your walls in.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take very long before you realize, or before it gets to you. It's cascading on you all the time. You can't get away from certain attitudes, from certain modes of behavior that this town and the industry dictate. And no matter how strong you are, when you come in off the farm with those convictions and a certain line of attack, no matter how strong you are going to be affected by this place. No, it's going to divert you from where you were going.
Sure.
You're going to be diverted. You'll eat yourself alive here. And I think it takes that kind of cockroach resilience to survive in this town. I mean, this is a bizarre place. The social contract.
Bizarre.
You can't get mad. Mm-hmm. You can't get mad. You can't let it get you, because you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken that you are going to be fucked over at some point.
I mean, as a matter of interest, do you think it's easier because you're an outsider who came in?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it was glaring to me, because I was an outsider who came in.
Yeah, very interesting, man. Let's get. I want to show you guys some interesting stuff that I found in the emails. All right. I think a lot. Why did he become so successful? Well, I mean, he's very successful. He's a big producer and made a lot of successful films. He makes a lot of money off them. And then he made The Passion of Christ, which turned him into a billionaire, right? Which he had to make outside of Hollywood because they wouldn't help him make it, right? And he's said some crazy things too. Like I don't remember the whole. Like I know he's gotten in trouble with the law and such crazy things too. I don't know. I just know his take on some of this stuff because I resonated with it because I lived and worked there as well. Now this is a Dutch banker. Now I'm kind of playing these old ones because when you look at some of this Epstein stuff now, and then you see these old videos, it just hits you different, right? What if Epstein is Satoshi? I doubt it, but maybe there is some connection with the people. Who knows? This is Ronald Bernard. He's talking about the elites being into human sacrifice and child sacrifice. Okay, he's a Dutch banker.
Ik moet ook zeggen dat de meeste van deze mensen hadden een...
Okay, I forgot the subtitles down here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to make it a little bigger because you probably can't understand, so you want subtitles.
Ik moet ook zeggen dat de meeste van deze mensen hadden een geloof wat afwijkt van het gemiddelde. Hè? Je hebt katholieken, je hebt protestanten, je hebt allerlei soorten van religies. Deze mensen, de meeste daarvan, hadden een Luciferiaans geloof. En dan kan iedereen zeggen, ja, geloof bestaat niet en God bestaat niet, alles bestaat niet. Nou, voor die mensen was het de waarheid en de werkelijkheid. Hun diende dus iets onstoffelijks. Hun diende wat zij noemden Lucifer. Mm-hmm. En ik kwam dus ook in die kringen. Alleen ik lachte erom, want het waren voor mij gewoon klanten. Dus ik kwam in wat ze noemden Satanskerken.
Ik wou zeggen, we hebben het nu over het satanisme.
Ja,
okay.
Ik kwam dus in Satanskerken, maar ik kwam zeg maar op route even langs, even buurten. En daar was dan op dat moment een heilige mis, hun heilige soorten mis. En dat was met blote vrouwen en wat drank en dit en dat. En ik vond dat...
They were doing their mass with, what is it, naked women and liquor and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a party, right?
En wat drank en dit en dat. En ik vond het alleen maar leuk. Ik hechtte weinig of geen geloof aan hun geloof. Of ik was er eigenlijk niet eens van overtuigd dat het überhaupt allemaal wel bestond.
Het was meer een schouwspel voor jou?
Ja, ik zag gewoon de donkerte en de slechtheid en de diepte daarvan zit in de mens zelf.
Ja.
Ik koppelde het nog niet zo. Maar ook die kringen verkeerde ik dus in, omdat als gast zeg maar, omdat ik vond het allemaal wel leuk. Al die blote vrouwen en al die dingetjes die daar speelden. Het was het vrije leven. Maar er kwam een moment, toen werd ik dus uitgenodigd, daarom vertel ik dit ook, om mee te gaan doen aan offers in het buitenland. Dat was het breekpunt. Kinderen.
Oké.
Kinderen.
Dat werd je gevraagd?
Ja, ik kon het niet.
I think he's singing with this, okay? And
ik moet ook zeggen dat...
this has been going on for a long time, okay? All right, so... This one, because I had looked up human sacrifice, because that was part of the big thing. People are losing their minds. We can start with some of these emails. The first one's from 2019. It says, it's just too weird, man. Thanks. I didn't realize Bush raped him too. Okay. Just like emailing FBI New York. What? I'd like to add a few other points goes by the purported victim. While on this yacht, he witnessed African-American males having sex with white blonde females, all of whom were bleeding during intercourse. He was a victim of ritualistic sacrifice, which his feet were cut with a shmitar, but left no scarring. I don't even know what the fuck that is. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the feces from these intestines. He was also raped by George Bush the first. It's fucking weird, man. Victim disclosed he was escorted to the FBI building by Michael Moore, who's a creator of True Pundit, described by multiple online sources as a conspiracy-driven news website attempts to paint FBI in a bad light. Moore is a criminal record result of an FBI investigation. This is not even the half of it, really. Fake human sacrifice. This was part of the ancient world, man. That's why the ancient world is nothing to glorify. You know, people are like, got colonized and that's evil. No. It was 1,000,000 times more evil before Europeans ever came to the America. 1,000,000 times more evil, beyond anything you can imagine. There's really great writings by some of there was like preachers of the time, like people that were recording shit, and you would not believe the horror that you would not even believe it. And the Romans had amazing records too, because they also were, in a way, conquerors in a way, right? They would go around and conquer areas, and then you'd pay tribute. But most of the time, most of the world was more horrific and better off under Roman control than anything that was there before. And same in the Americas. Like, thank God the colonists arrived. Like, thank God the suffering that they put an end to. A lot of early religion, and even today, you know, in parts of the world, they do it. And obviously, according to these emails, it's still being done, and I do believe it is, because I've witnessed some stuff with young people at a very high level of society. That was also my breaking point, but it wasn't sacrifice kind of stuff. I didn't get that high up in the chain or anything like that, but I did see enough to change the course of my life. I'll say that. What are we? Pros evolution is fast. They're talking about evolution too, and they were going to do they were trying to mutate. They were doing experiments with people as well, which was really sad. Moloch, Baal is the god, right? Now this was an interesting video. Now, this is 20-year-old model Gabrielle Rico Jimenez. After attending an elite party, she disappeared forever after this night. No one ever saw her again. Now these videos are coming back up. She was just yelling that they're eating people, and she was like losing her mind. Supposedly she's never seen again. I don't know what the real story is. By the way, Jeffrey Epstein's account was named Baal. You can't write this stuff. Baal is a demonic deity mentioned in the Quran and the Bible. Historically, people worship Baal and offer tributes involving human sacrifice and immoral rituals, evil and devilish forces. Now, this isn't a rumor. This is recorded and recorded in ancient Roman writings as well. This is what a lot of the people outside, civilization or Rome did. And then obviously in the Americas, this was normal too, and a lot of it in native cultures. Check out Miles Mathis. Epstein files are a psyop. Miles Mathis. Okay, let's check it out. There's definitely going to be a lot of interference being run right now too, right? They're trying to say that Epstein was a Russian agent and all this nutty stuff as well. The Romans had rituals where they appealed to Jupiter for sending gladiators to fight. Yeah, I mean, obviously it still kind of existed in some way in ancient Rome. But they didn't do children. That was another level. That's really what a lot of these ancient religions do. And I mentioned Game of Thrones the other day, where the general sacrificed his daughter for the god of light or whatever it was. The lady in red, if you remember, she was like the sorceress, right? And got him to kill his daughter, and he still lost the battle, right? It was evil. That's the kind of thing. That's another level, you know. Let's see. This is interesting. In the emails, this is kind of cool. We're getting away a little bit from that, but they talk about Biden, okay? And they talk about that dude playing Biden. Okay, he says, I don't remember who wrote this one. Maritime law is coming, they're saying, and selling and owning of humans and human souls is over. There is actual evidence. Let me see. How can I... This person is it's going to a lot of people. We don't know who it's from, to be totally honest. A lot of it's redacted. It's just this crazy long email. Okay. What is this email about? Declass now. I recommend this email catches up with you. So fucking get ready. The non-game is just starting, and when it ends, this entire email will be online for everyone to read. Attachments. Good God. Guantanamo Bay. I don't know. That's crazy stuff. Well, he says here, hint, Biden is not your current president. The mask malfunctions on Biden are getting worse each day on purpose. This will end badly for Redacted, who is posing with a fucking clone on Facebook. The dude playing Biden ain't Biden. Real Biden was an evil, sick, angry man who abused children, including his own children. That's an actor with a fucking mask. We've been over this 1,000 times. Never going to change. Biden is shot. 2019 firing squad. What? What? Oh my God. There's a lot in this one. This is crazy. Okay, let's just look at this one real quick. Then I'll pull up that Miles. You guys say Miles Mathis. Now, they're saying it appears that Epstein is one of the prime architects, possibly even a mastermind of the technocratic New World Order and subversion enslavement of the United States, which Trump is now accelerating at warp speed, pun intended. I have a working theory. All right, let's just see. What is this?
Strap in, because you are about to get a level of access we may never get again.
Okay, I haven't previewed this. I have no idea what this is.
This is an incredible audio file on justice.gov. I'll put the source link below. I'm at the 2:10 mark, and I'm just going to play this full exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and Ehud Barak. For context, now I found this...
Okay, I don't know what this is. Ehud Barak, I believe, is the old Prime Minister of Israel, correct? Ehud Barak. Yeah, he's former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. Okay.
From a clip that Ryan Grimm posted, he deduced that this was a February 2013 meeting between Larry Summers, Ehud Barak, and Jeffrey Epstein. For context, Ehud Barak was the head of Israeli military intelligence from 1983 to 1985. Then he became the Prime Minister of Israel at the same time that Bill Clinton was the President of the United States. Then he became the basically their version of the head of the Pentagon, the Defense Minister. He left that position in March 2013, and this is February 2013, 1 month before he leaves government office. Now, this is important because what you are about to see is a conversation between the outside fixer, Jeffrey Epstein, and the still head of Israeli military as he transitions to the private sector, and the conversations about how to create your own private business and how Jeffrey Epstein shapes this. Listening to this conversation, I think, will give you a very deep understanding of the role that Epstein plays in mediating the lucrative success of private careers for formerly government officials.
Oh, shit. Okay, I haven't heard this. This is interesting.
Tom appears to be Tom Pritzker, who is the chairman of the Pritzker Foundation. He's the head of the Hyatt hotel chain.
I don't know.
His brother is J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois.
He told you
wow.
Was he thought you should make a list of...
Yes, here.
Was mentally... he said, yes, but who has IOUs to you? That who's the, out of the people in the past, who you think you're close to, he said that he really wanted you to make this list of, this person owes me a favor, this person owes me his life, this person owes me his job.
So what you're hearing him say,
this person owes me his life.
Again, this is someone who led Israel's most elite covert commando unit, and then became head of Israeli military intelligence, then became the head of the country, and then became the head of its military, and is now going out on his own at the age of 71 to try to make money to convert what was government power into personal financial power. Now, it appears that Epstein played this role in the United States with CIA Director Bill Burns. It appears that he played this role in the UK. It's probably likely that he played this role with the Saudis as well. But this is a very instructive teaching moment for what a fixer tells a government official to do to convert his government power as it is cresting into a personal business empire. And the thing that he tells him to do is not market his skills or knowledge, but rather to compile a people index of people who owe you favors, people who owe you their lives. As I've said time and time and time and time again for a decade, but publicly here on this platform for 3 years now, this is the way it works everywhere. And whether it's Jeffrey Epstein or whether it's someone from a NGO or foundation or someone from a fund, the incentive in government is to accumulate people who owe you favors. That way, when you go out on your own in the outside, you are placed on lucrative board seats. You get funding from the foundations and philanthropies. You get startup capital. You get a huge sinecure, not for your government work, but for the moment you go private after your government work. Because people owe you IOUs from your time in government. This is how the State Department gets captured. This is how the CIA and Department of War and USAID and these things get captured, because the incentive goes from being about doing what's best for the country to doing what's best for outside privateers who then owe you favors, IOUs, so that you yourself, when you leave that government post, are able to get those board seats, book deals, stock options, consulting agreements, VC capital, you name it.
That's how it all works. Okay, that's even what's happening with this Minnesota or all over the U.S. with all these medical insurance fraud companies and stuff like that. It's all being allowed by these politicians. Okay, they get kickbacks to allow these groups in and do it. That's why you need these groups outside the system. You're not going to get a bunch of homegrown Americans collaborating on scamming the country. It doesn't make sense. It's their money. They're going to steal, like to get that many. But if you get a bunch of immigrants to come in and fill an area, and then they vote for you, and then they're the ones running it, wherever that is, it doesn't matter where the immigrants are from. I mean, it's not a point. The point is they're not homegrown. They didn't pay into the pot. So they're happy to steal. Like, who gives a fuck, right? And the politicians are all stealing. So that's just one example, right? And they all have an invested interest on each other to not rat each other out. And obviously this is what he's explaining is just like on a more complex level for all the way up through the Fed, through government offices, through international military. I know it's not very loud. This is as loud as it gets, guys. You just got to listen closely. It's cranked, okay? I can't turn it up. I don't think I can turn it up anymore. Hang on. Oh, fuck. Did I lose it? Hang on.
Strap in.
I don't think I can turn it up, man. It's up all the way.
Strap in because you are about to get a level of access we may
right.
never get again. This is an incredible audio file on justice.gov 2013 officials.
So what Tom asked me this morning,
Tom appears to be Tom Pritzker himself government or to do
first.
Yes, VC capital, you name it. I'm going to keep playing.
This person owes me.
Okay.
Right. And
hope
so
that's
you
better.
got to work it backwards and say, here is my, instead of thinking about what the opportunities are first, because right now you're focused on opportunities. I need you to focus on your personal balance sheet in terms of competences. What's your real strengths? What's the liability? One of the liabilities is you're 71 years old, so you can't be in a business. It takes 20 years to make money. We have to make money in the next 3 years. So, people, competence, things. So, I talked to Ian yesterday. I asked him to come. He flew in from London. He's great for an hour.
What was his impression from the?
So same thing. Because he's very connected to Samsung. Very. Who? Samsung. Korean. Samsung. Yes. Yeah. Very. Yeah. They pay him $3 million a year.
Just to make PR?
Yes. He has 10 companies like that now. Oh. Okay? So he said there's this company called Lookout. He said he mentioned it to you. LOOK. Yeah. He thinks they'll pay you a couple of $1 million to be on the board.
Yeah. That would be good.
I understood.
So Jeffrey Epstein is arranging through his network of friends and people who likely owe Epstein favors for Epstein to then broker a board seat for $3 million or several $1 million to Ehud Barak. What do you think Ehud Barak's government salary was as the Minister of Defense in Israel? The Secretary of War in the United States makes about $250,000 a year. Suddenly it goes to $3 million because you got a friend named Jeffrey Epstein who can get people to back you. And part of that involves compiling that list of people who owe you IOUs, so they'll give you lots of money on the outside.
Yep. He thinks they'll pay you a couple of $1 million to be on the board.
Yeah. That would be good.
It's like an agent, if you think about it, in the music industry, who negotiates on your behalf with the label, who negotiates on your behalf with the platforms. Most artists are only good at the music side of being a musician. They don't have necessarily the confidence, the Rolodex, the skill set, the network built up over decades to ask that on their own or to arrange it. So Epstein serves as a one-stop shop broker, especially around the money, with high-level intelligence and government officials.
He's a plug, man. He was making it happen.
He thought there was two cyber companies, Lookout, and even though I know Peter, I've never met Peter Thiel. And everybody says he sort of jumps around and acts sort of strange, like he's on drugs.
Smoking, yeah. He looks under drugs.
However, he has a company called Palantir.
Jesus.
Pallen. Tier. Palantir is Peter Thiel's company.
He misspells it.
Palantir, Palantir?
Yes.
You understand? They're researching. They're figuring out. Now they're going to figure out. They got to get to this guy, right? They want to infiltrate. They're talking about Palantir. This is crazy, man.
How you write Thiel?
Thiel.
Who's never heard of him before.
This is fascinating because this is 2013.
This is 2013, man.
Palantir was started in 2003. Ehud Barak was the head of Israeli military intelligence. He was the prime minister of the country, and he was the head of the entire military in Israel. And he had never heard of Palantir, didn't even know how to spell it, neither did Jeffrey Epstein, until the moment Epstein just told him in this dinner. And then you'll the files show their attempt to try to keep getting to Peter Thiel and surrounding him by spooks, as Kathy Rundler said, but do that in another video.
Well, fucking weird, man. Oh, come on, motherfucker.
a few times as well, and I think.
How'd you get introduced?
It was Reid Hoffman in Silicon Valley.
And see, they were hunting him. They hunted him down. They probably got him to party. They got him doing something, and now they got you, right? He owes them a favor. He either owes them a favor or is being blackballed now, right? Here's Piers platforming Epstein's lawyer, Alan Dershowitz. Now, this one's tough for me. Alan's actually a friend of mine, and he's actually a really great guy. I don't know his party life or his things he's into. I just know the kind of person he's been to me, which has always been a friend. So it's tough for me to hear some of the stuff I've heard about him. It is what it is, man. But outside all this stuff, he's a great guy and a great friend to have. A guy I could call on the phone, if I needed something, right? Just always, it's just hard for me to imagine he was into all that or what he was doing. Epstein, Dershowitz. Okay, here it was. I wanted to see the emails connected to this. Okay, so this is Jeffrey and Peter Thiel. This is from Peter Thiel to Jeffrey. It's really not in Saudi. I just think I'll avoid the Middle East for the next decade or so. This is 2016. Should be back on East Coast late April, May, somewhere in New York. Now, Jeffrey messages Peter Thiel, in 2016. He says, as you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. This is just straight up in there, okay? From Jeffrey Epstein to Peter Thiel. As you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. I was hoping to figure out a way for the bank that has $160 billion in management can do something in tech. Best client list in the world, prehistoric products. It can't wait. Good luck in China. I'll be in Europe again 2028, huh? 20 to the from the 20th to the 28th. Okay, maybe, I don't know. Then Island. So if you want to come around the world going west, come to the island. Or if you'd like to meet in Saudi at the end of the month. Man, this is crazy stuff, bro. So obviously you saw the media, they're running interference. They're like, oh, he works for Russia. He's literally writing in the email, I represent the Rothschilds. He represents the banking, he's part of that whole, the banking mafia, right? See, this one is from Peter Thiel to Jeffrey Epstein. So is Peter Thiel, he's the CEO of Palantir, right? So, I mean, this is kind of huge. First, it appears that there's little agreement on what Bitcoin is, store over intrinsic value of any current property, architecture, payment system. This is from Jeffrey to Peter Thiel. What Bitcoin is, conflicting goals, anonymous but transparent, public ledger, like the continuum now in the gender classification, fitting things into narrow boxes seems old school. Man presenting as a woman smells like property presenting as currency. Anyway, more when I see you. This is in 2014, by the way. Peter Thiel wrote, do you think this is the first step in upping the anti-BTC pressure? I don't know what's going on, man. This is crazy. In this email, Epstein says Davos can replace the UN, cyber, crypto, genetics, which is more exactly what's happening with Trump, BlackRock, bait and switch to the century. Crazy, man. Hey, the Mathis guy, I looked him up, Miles Mathis. I don't know. What do you want me to look up, man? It's like, it doesn't make sense. You got to give me something specific or give me a link. Origins of Enigma, Miles Mathis. I don't know what this guy's what this guy's about. Oh, he's talking about Hollywood a little bit? Is that what it is? Miles Mathis? What is he saying? I never heard of this guy before. Somebody in chat brought up this guy Mathis. I don't know, man. Send me a link to something or tell me what you want me to look up about him, because I've never heard about this guy before.
We penetrate the cabinets. The change is not just happening. The change can be shaped by...
Crazy stuff, man. Let's see. This was some big stuff. 2017, Diane Powell is behind the telepathy tapes, an investigation into alleged psychic abilities present in autistic children. Crazy stuff, man. This is from Deepak Chopra to Daryl Defrenet, Dr. Diane Powell. Let me know bare minimum for funding an initial study, including a collaboration with Professor Ramachandran. I'm pursuing Templeton Foundation. Okay. So this is Deepak Chopra forwarded Jeffrey Epstein a funding proposal. So he was the plug, man. He people didn't know where he got the money from, but we know where the money was coming from, right? So obviously from the Rothschilds and the banking elite, right? And he would befriend everybody and figure out what projects to increase, and then obviously he has a hand in it, a control over it now, and they can get things done that they want to get done and access everywhere. And in that process, they're also blackmailing people and getting videos and photos of people in compromising situations as they party, you know what I mean, or what have you.
It was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. No one cares about movies anymore. No one goes to the cinema. No one really watches network TV. Everyone's watching Netflix. This show should just be me coming out going, well done, Netflix, you win everything. Good night. But no, we got to drag it out for 3 hours. You could binge watch the entire first season of Afterlife instead of watching this show. That's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer. And it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way. So in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
I forgot he said that.
You had to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and off, okay?
Guys, I forgot that he said that about the Epstein thing in here. But this was great. This is like the best Ricky. I think hands down like the best fucking Ricky. This guy's just a genius. Anyway, this stuff gets dark, man. Let me know. Come to the Telegram. Links are at the top. Same Wolf Vision. If you guys want to talk more about go into more of these emails, there's 3 million pages. I mean, it never ends. Let me know specifically if you want to go into something. But it gets dark, so I'm going to cut it off, take a break from this stuff because it's just, Jesus, man. Human sacrifice, you know, P, you know what I'm talking about, the P word stuff. And it just, yeah, man. But it's important. It's important you guys face the nature of the world we live in and who runs it. And, you know, we can talk more about why it's done this way. I've also been privy to some things when I was younger. So I understand why it's kind of set up this way as well. And they try to bring me in. And they tried to bring me in too. But I drew the line. So now I'm here with you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for the likes. We have 333 people out there watching, so it's kind of a lucky number. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll do a live stream, go over crypto, see where we're at. All right. Night, everybody. See you.